Good evening, everyone. Wow, we got a full house tonight. This is the Joliet City Council meeting on August 16th, 2022 at 6:30 p.m. with Mayor Bob Oderkirk presiding. And we have the invocation by Rabbi Jenny Steinberg-Coven. Did I say that correctly?
Jenny Steinberg-Martinez.
Oh, I don't have Martinez on here.
No, you don't.
So let me make a correction. Okay. From the Joliet Jewish Congregation at 256 North Midland Avenue.
To begin with the pledge, or?
Did you get married yesterday or this morning?
No.
You can do the prayer first.
I do the prayer first. Let's bow our heads in prayer. Loving Creator, we come to you this hour asking for your blessing and help as we are gathered together. We pray for guidance in the matters at hand and ask that you would clearly show us how to conduct our work with the spirit of joy and enthusiasm. Give us the desire to find ways to excel. Thank you, Creator, for all you have given us and for those who have been called to service of our fair city. We pray for our mayor, for the various levels of city officials, and in particular for the assembled council. We ask that you would graciously grant them wisdom to govern amid the conflicting interests and issues of our time, a sense of the welfare and true needs of our people, a keen thirst for justice and rightness, confidence in what is good and fitting, the ability to work together in harmony even when there is honest disagreement, personal peace in their lives and joy in their task. We pray for the agenda set before them today. Please give an assurance of what would please you and what would benefit those who live and work in around our beloved city of Joliet. With all the love in our hearts, we say together, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll begin with roll call. Mayor Oderkirk.
Here.
Councilman Clement.
Here.
Councilwoman Gavin. Here. Councilman Guerrero.
Here.
Councilman Hug.
Here.
Councilman Morris.
Here.
Councilman Mudrin.
Here.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Here.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Here.
First on the agenda this evening are proclamations recognizing Neighborhood Hero Award winners.
Okay, thank you. My name's Jane Bernhardt. I'm a city planner here at the City of Joliet. I am also the president of Project Acclaim, which is the Greater Joliet Area's Civic Pride Recognition Organization, which was started in 1985 by the Reverend James E. Allen. So tonight, we are here with Councilwoman Coleman. We are going to recognize award winners for the city's and Project Acclaim's annual Neighborhood Hero Award program. This was a program that was started in around 2015. We have 18 award winners this year. This award is for property owners who have really put extra work into having an outstanding yard and done exterior improvements to their houses. So we have 18 award winners this year. We're going to recognize 9 of them tonight, and then the other half will go to the September 6th City Council meeting. I think most of them are here, yes.
Great.
Yep. So we're gonna just read one and then call them up, yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah,
Where's the names, the single names? Just go by,
yeah,
read one, okay.
let's read it first.
Okay, can you hear me now? Okay, as we talked about, this was started by Reverend Allen, who was a wonderful person, and when I rode the bus with him all over neighborhoods, picking out people to make this award, and then it became so that neighborhood people who were walking around in their neighborhoods wanted to recognize their neighbors for doing a nice job with creating beautiful scenarios in front of their house with shrubbery and flowers and decorative trees. So, with that said, here we go. Proclamation, whereas Project Acclaim has been honoring those who exhibit civic pride since 1985. Project Acclaim, in partnership with the City of Joliet, sponsors the Neighborhood Hero Award program to recognize those who take pride in their property. Neighborhood Hero Award honorees have outstanding yards that include maintained lawns with flowers, shrubs, and decorative trees. Neighborhood Hero Award honorees have labored intensely to create visual beauty at their property. By showing great pride in their property, these residents demonstrate great pride in their neighborhood and in our city. Now therefore, I, Robert Odekirk, Mayor of the City of Joliet, Illinois, on behalf of the Joliet City Council, do hereby recognize the efforts and outcomes of the 2022 Neighborhood Heroes and hope others will follow in their example. And I just want to add one short little thing about this. The folks that live in these homes, they do all this planting and taking care by themselves. They don't hire somebody else. I mean, there are other people that have beautiful yards, but they have people come in and do it for them. These are folks that labor of love for their homes to make their neighborhood beautiful in their home. And that's what Project Acclaim is all about when this award is done. So just so you know. So first of all, we have the Sullivan family, 2418 Fleetwood Drive. Come on up and get your award.
We clapping?
Come on.
I'm going to make some comments. The Sullivan family bought this property, corner property in 2013, and the new Fairfield subdivision from a foreclosure, and have really turned it around since they have moved in. So, no, we took pictures, yeah, we took photos up there.
Okay, all
Yep.
right.
And this is also on behalf of the city, a token of appreciation.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have Carmilla Del Rio at 423 Catalpa Street.
No, I guess she's not here. I will say, another nice corner property. She has been here for over 50 years, and she does almost all the yard work herself, with the exception of some of her sons who help out occasionally.
But they're still helping.
Yes,
They don't hire.
it's her house, yeah.
If I might add, these photos don't even show they've got some very nice water features there, also some little fountains.
Right.
So even these photos here don't do it justice.
We'll take a ride by. So now we have Rose Juarez, 11 O'Neill Street.
Rose has lived here since she was 5 years old, and
Well, that was like 20 years ago, right?
yeah, she's really turned the property around, or invested heavily, I should say, in the last couple of years, according to her neighbor who nominated her. So thank you. Beautiful. And this is for you as well. Thank you.
Okay, the Sandoval family, 1415 Clement Street.
You're here. This property, again, has made a complete transformation in the last 10 years, and a neighbor had nominated you for your work on your property, so thank you. This is for you.
Okay, I hope I say this right. Huerta
Puerto, yeah.
family, 422 North William. I was with you last night.
This family has been here for about 6 years at this corner property, and this property was so nice, there was actually 2 separate nominations that came in for this property. So, thank you.
Notice by the neighbors.
Yeah.
Okay, Judith Miller, 2219 Fiesta Drive.
Judy has lived here since 1987, and when she retired in 2008, she really started to invest more in her flowers on her property, so she told me. There you go, thank you.
Thank you. The Grace family, 1156 Buell.
The Grace family has lived here since 1989, and their landscaping is picture perfect according to the nomination. do not believe they are here. Their nomination had stated that their front yard has beautiful flowers every year.
And last but not least, Catherine Hacker, 860 Copley Lane.
So she is not here tonight. She told me, well, I met her on site last week. She is turning 88 today. And she continues to do all of her own landscaping with occasional help from her daughter. She and her husband have lived here for over 30 years. This is Councilman Hacker's house.
That's what I thought.
She wanted to go a little bit under the radar too with that.
Busted, I know her.
Yeah, it was a neighbor who had no idea that was their family too. So it was a really special award for us to give out. She said Bob was always working and she always did the yard. So here we go.
Yard wife.
I know. So that's it for for the awards for this evening. Whoops, well, I did that. For those who are just watching this evening, we do have another call for nominations in May of 2023. And Councilwoman Coleman put this well. This is something that we do every year and really tries to recognize those that make a difference in our community, in our neighborhoods, specifically our neighborhoods. So 2015.
It's been a while, so get your neighbors out there, get your plants, and then nominate your neighbors if you think they deserve it. But thank you, everybody, for making Joliet look beautiful.
Thank you, Jane.
Next is the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as written?
So move.
Second.
Been motion seconded to approve. Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin? Aye. Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Next is citizens to be heard on agenda items. Betsy Satcher regarding Council Memo 432-22.
My name is Betsy Satcher. I am president of the East Side Neighborhood Council. Hello to Mayor Odekirk, the rest of the city council people, and I am here to speak on Ordinances 432-22. And this is land that is located at 1101 Mills Road, Joliet, Illinois, where East High School, which is now Job Corps, is located in that area. This is a residential area, but it has been rezoned for light industrial site, for them to build mini warehouses. When I was informed about this business wanting to come to this residential area, I was very interested in knowing what was happening. Neighbors didn't have a lot of information. It wasn't exactly clear what time the meeting would be scheduled for the rezoning, but it was stated the date that it was going to happen. So I asked, well, if there's a visible sign on this property so people can know exactly what's happening and when it's happening. Couldn't get any of that information. So what I did is I informed them that, it should be posted, because I know that, there should be a notice there. As it got closer to the date, still didn't know the time of this meeting. So what I did, I took it up on myself to get in my car and go and see if there was a sign posted. And yes, I did find the sign, because I was wanting to attend this meeting because I thought it was really important that the residents know about this. This was on July 20th when I went by this property. And as I said, the sign was there. I took pictures of the sign. But what really caught my eye was that fence that was around this area. It was fenced in, and it was the green netting around part of this fencing, so it was partially like posted off, so people could not see, clearly what was in there. I got out, took a picture of the sign so I could send it to people, the residents, so they could know when the meeting was held, what time it was held. I was really sort of shocked with what I saw beyond the fence. There's earth moving equipment that was there. Now, this is before the zoning meeting. There was different kinds of pipes and other equipment at this site. And you could clearly tell that it was ready for construction. Almost unbelievable. And I did take a picture. And the sign did clearly state when the meeting was, date and time, and the location. So my thought was, and this was on the 20th that I was there, and the meeting was on the 21st. My thought was, how and why how could this business move forward? Can I continue?
If you can wrap it up, please.
Okay, well, I'm disappointed. A lot of people are disappointed, and I just want you people, I just want the city council to know that I did have questions. I attended that meeting, I had questions. One of my questions was, why didn't the resident know about the meeting that the owners had in the neighborhood? That was number one. I asked, how will this mini warehouse improve the quality of life for the people in this area? Number three, will it improve their property value? Number four, will it bring up job opportunities to, people, in this area?
All right, thank you, ma'am. We have to move on.
Okay, I'll come back.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak on an agenda item this evening?
Krista, over here.
Yep, there's
Oh,
one
I didn't know if
more.
you saw
I will
Morales.
next. And I will say, I see a few people standing. The meeting is being displayed out by the elevators as well. We will give everybody an ample time to come in and speak if they need to. So if they need a chair, there is more seating outside in the hallway.
Go ahead.
Hello.
Hi.
Mayor and Council. I am Boise Walker, and I am a property owner across the street from 1101 Mills Road. And I am going to start with statistical information from the Joliet Quality of Life Plan. It is a 15-year-old document. However, there are some findings in this document that is still very relevant today. Improving the housing market in Joliet's 4th and 5th district, the planning area for this project is entirely dependent on increasing residential investment in this area. This entails improving the condition of existing properties, attracting new development, and increasing access to home ownership. A sound housing strategy can build on the planning area's strengths and can create a greater variety of price points that serve both existing residents and higher earners. The planning area currently is around the I-355 extension, along I-80, and near a growing industrial jobs corridor. The redevelopment of the Housing Authority's Briggs Roslyn Homes into Liberty Meadows, now known as Liberty Landing, is a vibrant mixed income development, and a strong industrial market is nearby. This was in 2007. This is information coming directly from the Quality of Life Plan. There's some other findings from the Quality of Life Plan. They give the top 5 priorities for the 4th and 5th district housing market. Home ownership education programs and assistance, including rent-to-own programs, beautification of neighborhoods, including stricter code enforcement, rental options, housing for aging population, including assisted living, housing diversity in communities, and mixed income housing. Some of the key findings from 2007, the population growth in Will County and Joliet is outpacing the 4th and 5th districts. 7 out of 19 of the planning area census tracts were actually losing residents. Among households moving into the planning area, that's districts 4 and 5, and that's where this industrial development is. It's located in District 5. Just over half of the owners are actually among households moving into the planning area. Just over half are owners compared to 79% in Will County and 63% in Joliet. Again, this is information from 2007. I'm going to keep stressing that. Housing supply is not meeting demand in Joliet as a whole for households earning above $125,000. The planning area, the supply of housing is not meeting the demand for households earning between $50,000 to $125,000.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Alicia.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council members. My name is Alicia Morales. I am a member of the Collins Street Neighborhood Council, and I am a resident of Joliet. Today, there's a group of folks here that would like to also speak during public comment, but they don't speak English, so they've asked me to translate, to just give 1 or 2 sentences. But basically, before I go on, I just want to say that I also support Ms. Betsy Thatcher and also Ms. Boise Walker with the issue on item number 432-22. I was a member of the Quality of Life Plan back in 2007, and I helped put that together. And the same issues we faced back then, it's 2022. We need our local elected officials to please review that plan. Take it to bed with you, read it, please look at it, because it has some very valuable information, and all of those issues are still relevant today. So I stand in solidarity with Ms. Thatcher and with Ms. Boise Walker. But today I'm here regarding item number 432-22. We would like to petition the City of Joliet to deny the application for a special use permit and variance affecting 300 Maple, 330 Maple, and 212 Page Streets. We understand that American Property Investments LLC has submitted an application for a special use permit and variance to operate a trucking facility at the above referenced properties, which is right off of Henderson Street and Benton. They are attempting to build and operate a trucking facility for their own logistical needs and profit motives with complete disregard to the health, safety, air quality, and overall quality of life of the area residents. This area already exceeds the maximum truck operating capacity limits. We have not been presented with any environmental impact study to determine the air emissions and noise pollution levels. Recent local government decisions have facilitated rapid and irresponsible warehouses development in the surrounding Joliet and Will County area. Elected and appointed officials like you have also regularly granted negative declarations to proposed warehouse developments, meaning that warehouses have not undergone environmental impact assessments despite the evidence of health harms associated with their warehouses and trucks. Zoning rules exist to protect the health and quality of life of the residents. Our existing buffer zone is less than 600 feet, and the recommended buffer zones between logistics facilities and residential properties and schools is a minimum of 1,500 feet. We can't allow this to happen. We respectfully request that the Berlinski Scrapyard and American Property Investments LLC be better neighbors. And that you that are gonna make the decision, maybe not today, maybe sometime in the future, because I understand it's been tabled, that you respect the land use rules and deny the proposed special permit requesting to open a trucking facility. This would unfairly burden our community, which is already facing polluted air and further deteriorating our roads. We are also homeowners. We are paying for our houses. It's not given to us for free or anything. We are taxpayers and we are voters, and we have the right to live in a safe and healthy environment. Thank you very much. I'd like to call one of the residents that's here. Alondra, si gusta pasar. And I'm gonna translate for her because she asked me to translate.
Does she give her name and address for the record,
she
please?
will. ¿Qué es tu nombre, tu domicilio, por favor? No, en español, yo lo voy a traducir. Yeah. She's concerned because she doesn't speak English. I told her to say it in Spanish.
Okay.
Tu nombre y domicilio.
Mi nombre es Alondra Vera. Yo vivo en 807 Benton.
My name is Alondra Vera. I live at 807 Benton Street.
Yo no estoy de acuerdo con ese proyecto porque yo siento que nuestros hijos van a tener más peligro.
I am not in favor of this project because I feel it endangers our children.
Porque va a haber mucho más tráfico, entonces ya no van a estar seguros ellos jugando afuera.
It's going to increase the traffic, and I don't feel that my kids will be safe playing outside. Gracias.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Gracias. Edith?
Mi nombre es Edith Vera y yo vivo en la 809 E. Benton.
My name is Edith Vera and I live at 809 East Benton Street.
Yo he vivido por más de 20 años en este vecindario
I lived here for more than 20 years in this area,
y no estoy de acuerdo con este proyecto para nada.
and I am not in any favor of this project either.
Creo que este proyecto, en vez de ayudar, va a afectar mi vecindario.
I think that this project, instead of helping our neighborhood, it will, en vez de ayudar, va a hacer qué?
Va a afectar más el vecindario.
It's going to have a negative impact on this area.
Antes nuestro vecindario era tranquilo
Before, our area was very calm,
y con la industria de transporte que está creciendo,
and with the traffic industry that's continuously growing,
hemos estado teniendo problemas con trailers pasando a todas horas.
we've had a lot of problems with constant traffic at all hours.
Y creo que esta compañía solamente va a traer más problemas de esos.
And we feel that this company is going to bring further problems, related problems.
So les pido por favor que tomen en cuenta a mí y a mis vecinos.
So I ask you that you please keep us in mind, that you take us into account, myself and my neighbors,
Y que reconsideren no aprobar este proyecto, por
and that you
favor.
reconsider not approving this project, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lucero?
Mi nombre es Lucero Ángeles.
My name is Lucero Angeles.
Vivo en el 817 East Benton.
I live at 817 East Benton Street,
No estoy de acuerdo con lo que van a hacer
and I am also not in favor of this project
por mis niños.
because of my children.
Thank you.
Gracias. Rodolfo?
Mi nombre es Rodolfo
My name is apellido.
Arriaga.
My name is Rodolfo Arriaga.
Yo vivo en las 610 de la Llorón.
I live on 610 Jerome.
Yo vivo por 16 años ahí.
I've lived there for 16 years,
Y también siento que nos va a afectar a todo el tráfico.
and I feel that all of this traffic is going to have an impact on us.
Va a haber más, más smog,
There's going to be a lot more smog also.
no sabemos si van a llevar, en los contenedores, químicos o algo que pueda afectar.
We don't know what they're going to be transporting in their containers. They might have chemicals or some other item that might affect us.
Y pues yo estoy, de acuerdo con los vecinos.
And I am also in solidarity with my neighbors.
Nos gustaría que nos tomen en cuenta.
We would like for you to hear our voice, to take us into consideration.
Y muchas gracias.
And thank you very much.
Thank you.
Magdalena? Okay. And I will, Sandra, but she doesn't need an interpreter, so I'll step down. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. Good evening, Mayor, Council. My name is Sandra Aguirre. I live in the 620 Norton Avenue, Joliet. I've been living there for almost more than 25 years. I'm representing the Precinct 13 committee woman, and I'm very proud to say that this time it's time for us to oppose definitely to this construction. And I personally think that why in the east side? Why not somewhere else? I agree with everyone what they have said, and I'm here to support their opinion. And I appreciate if you consider all the damage that is gonna be doing during in our neighborhood, which is this traffic, smoke, noise, and you name it. And plus, whoever lives around that area, they're not gonna be able to sell their houses if they're willing to down the road, because it's gonna devalue. Of course, who's gonna be buying a house that is close to a trucking stop? So I oppose, and please reconsider, and I'm here to support my neighborhood.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor,
Yes,
question. Wasn't there a meeting held out there in response to this? Wasn't there a neighborhood meeting?
I believe there was.
August 5th, I believe?
Yeah, I believe it was August 5th, that's correct.
Okay, so my question was, at that meeting, was there any staff there or an
No,
interpreter?
there was no staff there.
And were there people there that were able to understand what was happening? There was no interpreter?
I couldn't answer that.
Okay. Maybe we should have a neighborhood meeting so that they can explain to them.
Sure. I think that the meeting was with the company that's doing this, not the city, correct?
That's correct. The meeting
Right.
was with the company. They put out for a zoning meeting, which is required that they ask for public input. So that meeting was held on August 5th. No staff attended that meeting.
So since folks only speak Spanish, maybe we should send something out for a neighborhood meeting for, maybe some staff can attend, an interpreter, and let these folks know, since it's gonna be tabled anyway, in the meantime, and then they can explain what they're gonna be doing.
Okay.
Sure.
Were they collecting signatures from the people that live in the area?
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Go ahead,
Just
sir.
wanna be able to make everyone
Give them to the
understand.
clerk. The
The
clerk.
clerk over here.
Go ahead, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Counsel. My name is George Kimbrough. I'm the pastor of God's Gathering Place, also known as True Tabernacle Christian Fellowship Church. We've been in, our church location is 1220 Pawnee. So I want to revisit the ordinance concerning 432-22, dealing with the reclassification of part of 1101 Mills to from single family to light industrial. The reason I have a problem with that, now I'm going to come back behind those that have spoken about this topic already to say that I support, I'm in full agreement with them. But what I do have opposition to is the way that the meeting was not so much held but announced. There was very, very little prior notice. One person spoke earlier about seeing the sign on the 20th, and the meeting was held on the 21st. My church is right around the corner. I mean, not more than maybe 400 feet from where the proposed site is. And I go there almost every day and didn't see the sign until about the 20th. So I object to the fact there wasn't proper notice. I also object to the fact that if the community was going to give some type of input, or really if the persons involved, including the city, was really serious about giving the community a voice. We have a church right there in the community that the meeting could have been held in the community in such a manner that it would be convenient for those who had an issue to be there to express their concerns. That didn't happen. Many in the community, myself included, didn't make that meeting when you guys made your decision to reclassify. It's already been spoken about homes being needed on the east side, especially in that community. We're right across the street, that 400 yards or so takes us out of Joliet proper into Joliet Township. There's an undeveloped area there that the city a few years ago chose to go around us and put a racetrack 3 miles away, gave them everything they needed, yet there was no revenue coming in. I know that we are Joliet Township, but we're also represented by many of you, or should be, because this council should be set up for all the people. And decisions are going to be made for people that are going to be affected in District 4, District 5. And every other district here have their own special interests, but you want to make a decision to at some point in time, whether it's tonight or not, at some point in time, you want to make a decision that's going to impact all of the constituency in those districts. Maybe not impact yours. But so I would say, I would hope that you could table this if you could. Give us an opportunity to have the residents of the community just come out, and you guys come out to us maybe and talk to us and let us know, and let the representatives there know, because as the young lady said when she came up, they put the fence up, blocked it off so nobody could see. And I know my time's out, and I appreciate your diligence, your patience. But I know my time is out. But the fact is that it was almost as if the intent was being hidden. And I just wanted to speak to that, let our hearts be, our feelings be known, and ask you guys, when you make a decision, you guys represent all of us, even though, you're in different districts. But when you make those decisions, you're impacting every citizen in Joliet, and we're forgotten. But I hope that we won't be forgotten from this point on. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. How are you?
Good.
To the mayor and to the council, I am Jacqueline. I live on 1314 New Lenox Road. I've flown in to make my stance known that I definitely would like you guys to reconsider what you're doing to the community. I'm not for sure, no disrespect of, this is just terrible that you're pushing people out of their homes, devaluing their homes, not even caring that our parents worked 30 and 40 years over there for those homes. This is supposed to be for generational wealth. And with you guys coming over into the area that we're in, it's like you're disrespecting our ancestors, you're disrespecting our mothers, you're disrespecting us. Some of us, this is all what we have. Some of us cannot fly out or go to another town, and maybe you would like everyone to move out. But I'm asking you, if you're thinking about this as so much revenue, why isn't it that these homes, these warehouses, why are they not based in your neighborhoods? If they're gonna bring revenue, they're gonna bring revenue even in your neighborhoods. I am a perfect example of fighting with you guys because I am here, based on solidarity with Miss Betsy, but I'm also here due to Love's Trucking. I am one of the plaintiffs in Love's Trucking, and we will keep fighting for our homes, for our lands, for our ancestries. This is so wrong on so many levels. If it's that good, put it where you live at. Then if you can put it where you live at, we're okay with it. But we know that won't happen. So I'm asking you and begging you to reconsider what you're doing to us. Because some of us, this is all we have. Unlike us, we're hardworking. We're not getting paid anything else to take this land. And you really should have asked people what they wanted, but you didn't. So that tells me you just don't care. I don't know where any of you or where the God is in any of you, but it's obviously not here with what you're doing to us. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Ms. Walker. I'm at 626 Mills Road, Joliet, and I am opposed to the Kingsman Industrial Park. In 2007, this 221-page quality of life plan provided detailed statistical information on what was needed for District 4 and 5, and sadly, 15 years later, these needs are still pervasive in our districts. On page 26, it stated, there is a strong industrial market. In 2007, the industrial market was strong, and since then, additional industrial developments have been built, creating an even stronger industrial market. On page 37, it is stated, create and encourage a diversity of housing types, improve residents' access to homeownership. Since this report was completed, phase 1 and 2 and 3 of Liberty Landing and Water's Edge redevelopment ventures have been completed. However, these developments, not 100% sure about phase 3, did not increase housing stock in districts 4 and 5 because the quantity of housing units redeveloped is less than the number of housing units demolished. Although we did see need, development with Sunset Point off Route 53 and Pheasant Run in Preston Heights, 82 new houses were built with prices ranging from $220,000 to $350,000, and Volunteers of America built a residential unit by the old Silver Cross land, Hope Manor, 67 veterans. The United States is experiencing a housing crisis. Specifically, there is a shortage of affordable housing for the working class Americans. This housing crisis trickles down to Will County and Joliet as well. In 2007, affordable housing, senior housing, mixed income housing, and single family housing was needed in districts 4 and 5. And 15 years later, we still need single family, multifamily, mixed income, and senior housing in districts 4 and 5. We need densely populated neighborhoods that will increase residential traffic counts, which will then attract retail developers, more residential developers, and grocery chains. As I stated, we had homes torn down, schools closed, and grocery stores removed in our neighborhoods. As tax-paying citizens, we deserve better. We need residential developments on the east side of Joliet. We don't want industrial developments in our neighborhoods. This new development won't even bring jobs to our community. It may create 1 or 2 jobs. As a property owner within the 600 feet boundary of Kingsman Industrial Park, we say no to rezoning this property to I-1 light industrial, and we ask that you, the council, say no as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Mary White. I live at 112 3rd Avenue, to Mayor Odekirk and the City Council. I am here, I stand in solidarity with Betsy Satcher and Boise Walker concerning this ordinance 4322, approving the reclassification for the Kingsman Industrial Park. And based on everything, it is my opinion that this park is provoking unsafe environment, insecurity in the residents, and making the residents feel insignificant. And I say that because Kingsman, East High School mascot was Kingsman, and it's like they're throwing it in our faces, letting us know that they can do whatever they choose to do in our community when they get ready. Again, I am against this ordinance in our community, and I do serve on the East Side Neighborhood Council. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Glenda Malone. I live on Rowell Avenue, 712 Rowell Avenue. I am very disappointed. I had absolutely no clue what was going on. I'm active in my community, and I just feel that I was totally disrespected. Now, I'm sure you wouldn't want me to come into your neighborhood and disrespect you. So I said absolutely no in reference to the Kingsman Industrial Park.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak on an item?
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Tom Osterberger on behalf of the applicant. Also here is Ryan Hill for the applicant on the Kingsman subdivision.
Tom, do you want to make your comments now or when the matters going to be
Whatever
called?
you choose.
It'd probably be more appropriate before the vote.
That'd be fine.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak? Seeing none, we'll move on to appointments. Tonight, the mayor is recommending the following appointment to the Fire Pension Board. Scott Matthews, replacing Christopher O'Hara. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Been motion seconded to approve. Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is council committee reports. First is diversity and community relations.
Thank you, Your Honor. The Diversity and Community Relations Committee met on Wednesday, August the 10th at 4 p.m. here in the council chambers. Present was Councilwoman Quillman, Councilman Guerrero, myself. We had a host of staff, Chris Regis, Christina McNichols, Karen Mackley, and also I believe that Councilman Morris was in the audience. We had guests to attend our meetings. Attorney Andrea Jordan of the Prairie State Legal and Christopher Parker, the president of the African American Business Association, and some of his members. We had a couple of items on our agenda. The first one was regarding our mission and vision statement for the committee. It is time for us to update that. And Ms. McNichols came to us to share with us regarding that. And the committee committed to meetings, probably several meetings, before we are able to present the final draft of our new mission and vision statement. We also had that presentation given by Ms. Andrea Jordan, Attorney Andrea Jordan, I should say, I'm sorry. And she talked about diversity, equity, and inclusion. She gave us her background with working with that, and also offered to help us in assisting to construct that mission and vision statement. We also had the president from ABA, the African American Business Association. He came and presented their mission to the committee and seeking a partnership with the city to provide opportunities. He also shared with us some of his members who are business owners here in Joliet, and we were delighted to hear from them as well. Your Honor, this is our report. Councilwoman, is there anything you'd like to add, or Councilman Guerrero?
No, Betty, you put a lot, we had a long meeting, and that you put a lot in a short time, so thank you.
Yes, we did. And it was a very good meeting, and I want to just thank staff, Christina McNichols. We're going to have her. Welcome to the city of Joliet, and welcome to our committee. We're going to enjoy this ride together. Thank you so much, Mayor. That is my report.
Thank you.
Finance Committee report.
Finance Committee met today here in the City Council at 5:30. On the committee is Sherry Reardon, Councilman Guerrero, and myself. We had 2 items that'll both be on the next City Council meeting. One was a presentation from the museum asking for some additional funding. He had a short slide presentation that he will bring back to the full council. Also, Mr. Gandati presented the annual comprehensive financial report from December 31st, 2021. That was a very positive report that he will give more details on at the full council meeting. We had the July financial report with revenues up $20 million this year from a year ago, and expenses down $4 million. All information was on a very positive nature at this time, and that would be the end of my report unless...
Yeah, Jim, what were we attributing the expenses being down $4 million? Did we over budget in any area? Or does this have to do with the asphalt shortage from the strike and road work?
A little bit of supply shortage, but mostly it's, we budgeted a lot of positions that has just taken time to fill. So, as you know, we added 25 police officers. Well, they didn't come in January, you know, it takes time to hire people. So I fully expect that the expenditures will catch up to last year once we get those people on position.
Okay, thank you.
Land Use and Legislative Committee report.
Yes, the Land Use and Legislative Committee, myself, along with Councilwoman Quillman and Councilman Clement, we met Thursday, August the 11th here in the council chamber. We had a few agenda items. Our first agenda item was a code of ordinance amending the section regarding dog running at large. We asked the committee tabled that ordinance based on wanting to, at our next meeting, we've asked the animal control to come, and the committee will have some questions for them before we proceed with that to sending it to the full council. Our next agenda item was the City of Joliet Code Ordinance allowing package sales to commence at 6 a.m. on Sunday. Most of the staff researched that, and most of the communities surrounding Joliet also start their package sales on Sunday at 6 a.m. So that item was approved by the committee to come to the full council, looking for an approval. Our next item was the electronic sweepstake machines that's in a lot of establishments illegally. So we approved that to prohibit electronic sweepstakes machines. They're not regulated by the city nor the state. So that also will be coming to the full council as well. Our next item was restrictions on the sidewalk medium use. And the hours, I believe, and help me out, committee, was at 7 in the morning to 11 at night for people to kind of be hanging out on the sidewalk for safety reasons. Was that the right time?
Yes.
So something like that? Okay. I didn't know if it was 7:30. I knew it was something like that. I didn't write that down.
Close enough.
Close enough? Okay. That also was approved, if I didn't say that, to the full council. The next agenda item was the approval of the real estate tax. And this had been discussed at a couple of our meetings, and the committee heard again from the public as well as staff, and that was approved to the full council, amending that chapter for the real estate tax transfer stamps. Next agenda item, we didn't really take them in this order. I should have said that too, I guess, but was the single family rental inspection. There's a group, I guess I should say, that had asked staff to
considered some information that they wanted to share with them. So they asked this item to be tabled again for the last time, and it's be coming back to the committee within the 30 days. I think we set a date. I don't remember the date. I know
Three
Karen.
Rivers real estate people wanted a table.
Well, I figured you
As
would.
well
I
as
figured you
council,
would,
except
tell.
for me.
Right. Well, I'm gonna get to that.
I know,
Jan.
okay, you get to that.
I'm gonna get to that.
Okay.
I'm gonna let everybody. It was a 2-1 vote, and Jan wanted this to be heard, but Councilman Clement and I, we thought that we would, and staff acts as well, to at least listen to the Realtors Association for what they have, and we figured 30 days, and it's been kicked down the road for 10 years, right? Or longer. We didn't think 30 days would matter too much. So anyway, that'll be coming back to the council, to the committee, and then to the council probably within 40 days. Last item, and I'll be out your way, was approved to the full council was the CDBG agreement with the Senior Services of Will County. And that was approved unanimously because they're raising the rate to $10,000, and this will help our seniors with different construction things around their house, their roof, doors, windows around their house. It was $5,000, it's being raised to $10,000. So the committee approved that to the full council for approval. I think that's it, man, unless I missed something.
You did it all. You got it. You got
sure?
it, Terry. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
It was a lot.
Thank you.
Public Service Committee report.
The Public Service met yesterday, the 15th of August, 2022, here in the council chambers at 4:30 p.m. In attendance were committee members, Councilwoman Gavin, Councilman Morris, and myself, as well as Director of Public Works, Greg Ruddy, and members of his staff, and Director of Public Utilities, Allison Swisher, and her staff. We had 4 items under contracts. One item reviewed the contract award for traffic signal materials to keep our many traffic signals around the city up and running and working properly, and that was for $178,073. We also looked at an award contract for electrical materials purchase for the amount of $106,586.50. Again, to have parts and such and supplies to keep our street lights and other electrical components running even beyond the traffic signals. Then we also looked at an award of professional services agreement for the 2024 water system rehabilitation program to Baxter and Woodman in the amount of $742,300, and that is also part of our larger alternative water supply program. And because of the demands from the compact, the Lake Michigan Compact and the EPA, we have to move from 3% to 5% a year of repair and replacement of water mains. So we got to get ahead of the curve because it takes a while to engineer that. It's good news for the city that we'll be increasing that after it had been neglected up until 7 or 8 years ago for so many years. And then we had another contract for $89,900. It was for a rehabilitation and repair of a lift station. And we had a couple of items under the change order pay estimates and final payments. One had to do with a sludge storage tank that they found once they got into it, which I didn't want to go into it, but they found the problem and submitted an increase of $8,700 to repair that sludge tank. And the last item that we had on the change order pay estimate and final payments was an amendment for the Phase 2 professional engineering services for the Theodore Street Whitening Improvements Project, which will run from Drouden to Westmere Parkway. It will include a stoplight at both intersections, and Westmere Parkway will get the first stoplight, and then the year after that, as the project is finished, Drouden will get that. We've been working on it for some years with this IDOT. This is an amendment because we moved to the second phase under IDOT's restrictions, and the third phase then, which will happen within a year, would be the actual construction, you know, once we get out of the Phase 2 engineering. We had some housekeeping on, Ordinance and Resolutions. We did vote committee only, to approve the Joliet Community Water Conservation Plan. Folks that watched it, and as well as the members of the council, do remember we had a very extensive, one of our summer interns gave us the presentation for this plan 2 weeks ago. I believe it's available on the website too, so we're not gonna see it again tonight, but we did, vote on that. And all of these items were approved and sent for, with recommendation to the full council to be approved by the full council from the committee, and the water conservation plan was approved within the committee. Did I miss anything?
I don't think so.
Betty?
No, you covered everything, sir. Thank you.
Then that would be my report, Mayor.
Thank you.
The widening of Theodore, I know a lot of people think it's running real slow. It's just a process. I mean, nobody's dragging their feet. It's just a process. I know they want to get it widened. There was a fatality out there, and I just wanted that publicly known.
Yeah, and my condolences to the man's family. He was on a motorcycle. But yes, this is the schedule that we have to follow through IDOT.
I show no other reports. Moving on to consent agenda, approval of the minutes. It's recommended the minutes of the council meeting held on July 19th, 2022, the minutes of the pre-council meeting held on August 1st, 2022, and the minutes of the council meeting held on August 2nd, 2022 stand approved as recorded. Invoices paid report. It's recommended this report be received and placed on file. Council Memo 409-22, regular payroll for April 22nd through May 5th, 2022, $3,832,541.73. Council Memo 410-22, regular payroll for May 6th through May 19th, 2022, $4,936,307.15. It's recommended said regular payrolls be approved. Council Memo 411-22, award of contract for the 2022-2023 small meter replacement program in the amount of $993,495 to Calumet City Plumbing and Heating Company. Council Memo 412-22, award of contract for the purchase of 4 asphalt hot box reclaimers to Monroe Truck Equipment in the amount of $124,996. Council Memo 413-22, award of contract for the Helen Avenue roadway improvement project to PT Farrell Construction Company in the amount of $261,523.96. Council Memo 414-22, change order number 1 for the 2021 roadway resurfacing contract A to Austin Tyler Construction in the amount of $46,425.42. Council Memo 415-22, change order number 1 for the Hobart Road, Hollywood Road roadway reconstruction project to D Construction in the amount of $256,444.17. Council Memo 416-22, purchase of 3 new vehicles for undercover drug enforcement. It's recommended Council Memos 411-22 through 416-22 be approved. Is there a motion to approve all said consent agenda items?
So moved.
Second. It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Motion carried. Under licenses and permit applications, Council Memo 418-22, issuance of a Class E liquor license at 2721 West Jefferson Street, Sushi Ya. It's recommended this Class E liquor license be approved.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 419-22, issuance of a Class B liquor license at 158 North Chicago Street, Musa Tapas Bar. It's recommended this Class B liquor license be approved.
Move to approve.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is Council Memo 420-22, issuance of a Class B liquor license at 1416 West Jefferson Street, the Royal Palace Event Center. It's recommended this Class B liquor license be approved.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Motion carried. Under public hearings, first is Council Memo 422-22, a resolution approving an annexation agreement for 2749 Gulf Road. This is a public hearing, so comments would be in order at this time.
Would anyone like to speak on this item?
Seeing none, let the record show that the hearing is now closed. Is there a motion to approve Council Memo 422-22, a resolution approving an annexation agreement for 2749 Gulf Road?
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 423-22, fulfillment of the statutory public hearing requirement for the proposed First Amendment to the Rock Run Crossings redevelopment project area and redevelopment plan. This is a public hearing, so comments are in order at this time.
Is there anyone who'd like to speak on this item?
Seeing none, let the record show the hearing is now closed. There's no action needed tonight, just the public hearing being held. Next is Council Memo 424-22, fulfillment of the statutory public hearing requirement for the proposed Amendment Number 3 to the City Center Tax Increment Financing Redevelopment Plan and Project. This is a public hearing, so comments are in order.
Is there anyone who'd like to speak on this item?
Seeing none, let the record show the hearing is now closed. Again, no action on this item, only the public hearing being held. Moving on, under ordinances. Council Memo 426-22, ordinances associated with Keystone Business Center re-subdivision of Lot 3. This includes an ordinance approving the preliminary plat of Keystone Business Center re-subdivision of Lot 3 and an ordinance approving the recording plat of Keystone Business Center re-subdivision of Lot 3. It's recommended said ordinances be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is Council Memo 427-22, an ordinance approving a special use permit to allow an automobile dealership in a B3 General Business Zoning District located at 3301 Essington Road. It's recommended said ordinance be adopted.
Question?
Yes.
Did we, what did we do with the request yesterday? I think Sabrina, you were looking into it, right, with the wording?
We,
Or Jim,
yeah,
was you?
Yeah, we did. We got, we spoke with the petitioners. There is no language as you had, I believe that you were originally, told that there was language in there that said that prevented them from selling. They've agreed not to necessarily sell the cars that they originally sell for less than $25,000. However, the cars that they take in on trade, they really can't help that. So if somebody wants to come in and trade in a car for one of the higher end cars, there's no way they wouldn't be able to or wouldn't want to turn away that business in order for them to procure a car.
Yeah, but Jim, we had, and this is prior to your time, and if somebody needs to reach out to Derek Conley, and you know, he's amicable, he's a good guy, he'll let you know. No, we had an agreement that made sense at the time, but then they put it on hold. They put it on hold because they weren't sure who was going to buy the building, okay? So we did have one under Derek, and we need to have him we need to talk to Derek to see that if it's not available through the current one.
Well, we do have go ahead.
Hi, my name's Fatty Rehan. So I'm actually the one that spoke to Derek about it. We didn't actually have an agreement. He said we do need to discuss having some sort of agreement that we can't sell, lower end vehicles. Our goal is not to sell lower end vehicles at that building because of our investment. I mean, we're investing over $10 million just in the property alone. So we have no intention of selling low end vehicles because there would be no purpose to do that.
So there would be no problem putting it in writing?
We did not put anything in writing, but we did discuss with James yesterday that we would not purchase anything under $25,000. But if someone has a trade-in, we can't just tell the customer, hey, we can't take your car and trade. We have to be able to take the trade-in and dispose of it, sell it if it's good enough to sell, or we would take it to the auction and wholesale it. But we're not planning on purchasing anything under the $25,000 range. Actually, our goal is to sell vehicles that are, $50,000, $100,000 and over. So.
Which one of you two talked to me back then?
I spoke to you.
Yeah, no, we talked about this in the agreement. sir.
We never
We
put
did.
it,
It wasn't finalized, so I would call for a table, and we need to do some research. I'll get a hold of Derek. We need to do what was presented. We had a very lengthy conversation on what
we
the
had a conversation
expectations were.
as the.
Several, you called me several times.
Right, we spoke about putting higher end vehicles there, but we never said that, we never put anything in writing. So, I mean, if there's something that you would like us to do, if you'd like to suggest something right now, we'd be happy to discuss, putting something in writing.
Yeah, I made a motion to table.
Okay,
It is in District 1.
go ahead, Krista.
There's a motion to table Council Memo 427-22, an ordinance approving a special use permit to allow an automobile dealership in a B3 zoning district located at 3301 Essington Road. Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's in motion and seconded to table. Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Just a question first, if we, table this item now.
I'm sorry, no discussion
Hold on.
once it's on the table.
He's asking a question.
Well, once it's tabled, you can't ask.
Go ahead.
If it makes an amendment, does it go through the entire process again, or will it be brought to us at the table amended?
It will, I will reach out to these guys, will come back amended.
Okay, then, I'll vote aye, in favor to table.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
It was a point of order. I'll vote aye, though.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 427-22 was tabled.
So the plan is to sit down with these two principals and bring it back at the next meeting?
Right, I mean, I know that Councilman Hug wants us to talk to Derek, but I don't know how that we are able to actually put that in there. We'll have to look at it from a legal perspective to see if that's possible or not, and whether or not then if they would wish to continue pursuing this. Yes, that'd be perfect, right.
Send it over to you guys to review and then
Right.
we can discuss it at the.
Right.
I do have a question. So we're in the purchasing process of this building. We have been for the last 10 months trying to purchase this building, and it's contingent on getting the special use permit. And we are purchasing it from a bank, so the process is like, at the end of it, currently, we're waiting on this meeting, hoping, to get an approval. Is there any way to expedite it, just to see what you have in your mind of what you would like in writing? Because at this point, we don't know what to expect or what you would like us to do.
Well,
That's my whole
could staff,
explanation.
could you talk to
Well,
him? I know you're leaving town. Can you talk tomorrow morning? Have someone from staff reach out to him?
We did have a discussion, but I want to make sure, the person that needs to be satisfied is Councilman Hug here, so I
So we
mean.
spoke
Right.
to you yesterday.
Mayor, excuse me, this has been tabled. They need to talk to staff afterwards. We need to move on. It's point of order.
Okay, well, the vote's already happened. Go
I
ahead.
know, but it's been tabled and you're still discussing it.
Yes, go ahead, Larry.
Well, we're actually not discussing, we're not negotiating it. We're talking about what the timeline and what they need to do to bring back the new ordinance. So, again, somebody needs to talk to Derek. He's got the notes more than I did. I personally, you reached out to me a handful of times, and I certainly remember the conversations. I don't want to put a percentage out there right now, because I'm working off memory, but there was even a percentage discussed, what percent they would be allowed to. That wasn't finalized by the time Derek left, and now it's landing in between.
Okay.
So
So there's a history to this.
The goal would be meet with staff and we'll have it on the agenda in 2 weeks and move it up or down, move it forward.
So the meeting's gonna take place in 2 weeks?
Yes, but the meeting after Labor Day,
So
Tuesday
who-
after Labor Day.
Who would be, sorry, I don't mean to keep extending this conversation, but we did speak,
Oh, okay, 3 weeks, I'm
but we
sorry.
spoke to James and we spoke to Jim Torrey as well yesterday, who ultimately will make the decision, help us finalize.
I'd go back to staff and they'll present it and with a recommendation for or against, and the council will vote the next meeting then.
Yeah, and we'll get a hold of Derek Conley, and so we'll find out. So Jim and myself, but we'll work with you.
Okay.
Okay, want to get to yes here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is Council Memo 428-22, an ordinance approving a variation of use to allow continuation of a 2-unit residence in R3, 1 and 2 family residential use, and an R2 single-family residential zoning district located at 1401 North Center Street. It's recommended that ordinance be adopted.
Second.
In motion and seconded to approve, Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 429-22, ordinances associated with 3501 Industrial Joliet Subdivision. This includes an ordinance approving a preliminary plat of 3501 Industrial Joliet Subdivision and an ordinance approving a final plat of 3501 Industrial Joliet Subdivision. It's recommended said ordinances be adopted.
So move.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is Council Memo 430-22, an ordinance approving a special use permit to allow a trucking facility and a warehouse in an I-2 General Industrial Zoning District located at 212 Page Avenue, 220 Maple Street, and 300 Maple Street. I believe the petitioner is recommending this item be tabled this evening.
I will table it, but I would also like to add before we vote on this, that in a second, that we have a meeting with those folks that live out there with an interpreter before it comes back to council.
Motion table?
Motion table.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to table Council Memo 430-22, an ordinance approving a special use permit to allow a trucking facility and a warehouse in an I-2 zoning district located at 212 Page Avenue, 220 Maple Street, and 300 Maple Street. Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 430-22 is tabled. Moving on to Council Memo 431-22, ordinances associated with the annexation of 2749 Gulf Road. This includes an ordinance approving the annexation of 2749 Gulf Road and an ordinance approving the classification of 2749 Gulf Road to R1 Single Family Residential Zoning. It's recommended said ordinances be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
In motion and seconded to approve, Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is Council Memo 432-22, ordinances associated with the Kingsman Industrial Park subdivision. This includes an ordinance approving the reclassification of 25 acres on part of 1101 Mills Road from R2 Single Family Residential to I1 Light Industrial Zoning. An ordinance approving the preliminary plat of the Kingsman Industrial Park subdivision. An ordinance approving the final plat of the Kingsman Industrial Park subdivision Unit 1. And an ordinance approving the recording plat of the Kingsman Industrial Park subdivision Unit 1. It is recommended that ordinances be adopted. I believe the attorney is here to say a few words.
Go ahead. And then, if staff could address, there were a lot of issues raised about the notice, people not being properly notified. If someone could address that, please.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Tom Osterberger for the applicant. Ryan Hill is here as a representative of the applicant as well. I'd like him to speak both to the meeting, because I wasn't there, and tell you exactly what he wants to do. But I wanted to point out a couple things. This property, Joliet East closed in 1983, I believe, and this property obviously was part of the Job Corps. I mean, it's fitting that what the Job Corps is trying to do for our community can be put into action right adjacent to it. 2020 U.S. Small Business Report said that about half of the people in our country work for small businesses. Of that number, 2/3 work for businesses under 100 people and less. That's exactly what we have here. I have full respect for the homeowners who've come out. They're trying to protect their area, the area they live in. We're all part of the Joliet community. As you know, I'm here often. Joliet's I-1 zoning classification and Joliet's building codes, the I-1 is quite light in intensity and the building codes are high. The landscaping is high. There hasn't been a net investment in this area in a very, very long time. This small industrial project is a net investment, and it is not, the Mills Road can handle the light traffic. This is similar to what was done in Oakleaf. Oakleaf's right next to Marycrest, surrounds my alma mater, St. Jude's School, is behind the post office, not a ton of traffic, good jobs back there, and it's good for the community. I respect what they're saying, but I do not, putting a light industrial that Mr. Hill is suggesting is a good thing. It's not taking away from the community. We're not talking about an I-2, an I-3, some intensive use. This is going to be good for over there. So I would ask that you recommend approval, and I would like you to hear exactly what he entails for the project.
Thank you. If I may, I'd just like to address Ms. Thacker and the Reverend with some of the questions that were posed tonight. The property was fenced when we bought it. The reason I screened it was because the bleachers are derelict and unsafe. The field, there's broken asphalt, there's broken concrete. This field and 25 acres that I purchased was abandoned in 1983. So you can imagine, not only there's a building under the bleachers that has some asbestos in it that needs to be remediated. So for me, screening the property was to be a good neighbor. It's an unsightly project as it sits. So that was the intent of the screening, and I apologize if anybody felt slighted. Regarding the name, regarding the name Kingsman, I chose that name to honor the fact that that was once Joliet East High School. If you didn't live here in 1983, I mean, I was born in 79, so I don't remember 1983 very well, but if you're not from the area, you wouldn't know that that was Joliet East High School. And I just felt that it was appropriate to honor the fact that it was the high school mascot. And, you know, when you name the subdivision, it's there forever. So intent was to honor the legacy of the school, not to slight anyone or anything thereafter. So with that, I'd just like to go right to my prepared statements. I'm thinking about this obviously all day, what I'd be saying here tonight, and I'd like to go forward. So thank you again for allowing me to come and discuss the proposed project. Again, my name is Ryan Hill. I'm the owner of Aries Incorporated, a union utility contractor, a member of the Air National Guard, and the owner of the proposed subdivision, Kingsman Industrial Park, which is before you today for a vote. After listening to the residents and stakeholders at the community meeting, the Plan Commission meeting, and the pre-council meeting last night, I would like to address some of the concerns that were raised. On July 6th, I was provided a list of 77 mailing addresses for all property owners within 600 feet of my property. I personally stuffed, stamped, and sent all 77 letters to those property owners, notifying them of the community meeting that was to be held on July 14th at the front of my property. The July 14th community meeting had a great turnout. The meeting lasted roughly 2 hours. As the gathering of residents gained interest of passing traffic, several others stopped to inquire what was going on. In attendance at that meeting were myself, my counsel, Nate Washburn of KGG, who couldn't be here tonight, about 15 to 20 residents, Councilman Morris and Councilman Hugg via cell phone from one of the residents that night. The residents were concerned that because the proposed rezoning is called industrial, which obviously it is industrial, but the word industrial has a negative stigma to it. This project, they were under the impression that this project was going to be an Amazon warehouse, an intermodal facility. We heard truck stop, loading docks, and mini warehouses. This couldn't be farther from the truth. This was explained to the residents as well. I explained that what I'm proposing is an 8-lot light industrial business development of 2 to 3 acre lots supporting small businesses. Currently, there's a significant need for appropriately zoned land and facilities for these types of small businesses in the Joliet area. I recently relocated my business, Aries Inc., to the Joliet area, but I had to find land and build outside of the city limits because 2 to 3 acre light industrial lots just don't exist. The only industrial I could find were large tracts of 10 to 25 acres or large warehouse spaces, neither of which meets the needs of small family businesses like my own. Excuse me. The intended end users for the lots in my proposed park are union heating and cooling companies, plumbers, electricians, suppliers, window companies, siding, carpentry contractors, etc. These union businesses are vital to the community, and right now there's a serious shortage of facilities with the proper zoning to accommodate their needs. I've also been in communication with local contractor and union labor groups who also echo my concern over the lack of space for these small businesses. My project seeks to remedy that shortage. Another concern that was raised at the community meeting was that this development is not compatible with the surrounding area. I would argue that not only is it compatible, it also enhances the surrounding area. Immediately adjacent to the property is the Joliet Job Corps campus. Joliet Job Corps provides skills training in heating and cooling, plumbing, electrical, and carpentry. It just makes sense to have employers who hire these types of trades right next to the very park that the employer is located in. As the owner of a 55-person union family business, my employees average roughly $80,000 per year. Companies like mine are the primary target for this type of development. They are good-paying jobs, and the income generated from these jobs are ultimately returned back to the local community. Some would argue that my property should stay zoned residential because of the need for more affordable housing in the area. While I agree that more affordable housing is needed, my land is too small for a single-family residential development to offer any meaningful impact. With the former Joliet Country Club transforming into affordable housing, residents will still need jobs. My proposed development seeks to bring jobs to the area to complement and enhance the 236 home residential and retail development already in the works across the street. I purchased this property from the Department of Labor, and as such, being federally owned, it had zero tax base for the city of Joliet. It was tax exempt. Prior to the federal government taking it, it was Joliet Township High School that owned it, also tax exempt. My proposed development will increase the local tax base from currently zero to over $200,000 a year once built out. This is additional tax revenue that the city has never counted on. Furthermore, there will be no impact to city services. As a single cul-de-sac private road, there will be no impact to the city for snow removal or road maintenance. An association of lot owners will be created, and all upkeep and maintenance will be financed by the lot owners. The development would be a net gain for the city of Joliet and its residents. Residents are concerned that my proposed development would bring with it a significant uptick in traffic. The traffic impact to the local area would be increased more by any residential development versus my 8-lot park. Aesthetically, the park will be screened on all sides. There is currently 30 feet of thick tree cover to the north that will remain undisturbed and provide for natural screening. The western boundary also has 4 feet thick of tree cover, which will also remain undisturbed. The entire perimeter of the property will be bermed and trees planted to screen the park from public view. The proposed development will blend into the surrounding area without any negative visual impacts. In closing, misinformation surrounding this project has been spreading like wildfire since I purchased this property in June. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to clarify with you my vision for the project and hopefully calm the fears and concerns of the residents by explaining the positive impact this development will make on the community, if so approved. I welcome your questions and feedback.
Questions? Okay, thank you.
Is there a motion to approve Council Memo 432-22?
Yep. Jim, I'm sorry, thank you. Sorry, Krista.
That's okay.
The notice for the meeting, could you answer those questions?
Sure, so we sent out our 600-foot notice. They went out to about 70 neighbors, property owners. We sent them out to the property owners. There was a sign placed on the site 15 days prior to the Plan Commission hearing that was verified by a staff member, and I believe Terry was out there that day too, because there was some confusion about the sign. So it was out there as required, and also noticed in the paper. If a property owner lives south of Iroquois over there, that is outside the 600-foot range. So, you know, that 600 foot doesn't go as far as maybe some think. If you live on the other side of Rowell Avenue, that would not, you would not get notified either there. So, proper notice, we believe, was sent to all the residents.
Thank you. Sorry.
Is there a motion to approve Council Memo 432-22, ordinances associated with the Kingsman Industrial Park subdivision?
Mayor,
yes.
Just for the petitioner, so you've had an opportunity to kind of address some of these concerns, but I don't know that everybody is here. Would you maybe be agreeable to a tabling of this item until the following council meeting? Address any remaining concerns for residents that might not have been able to be here, and then continue forward at the, I believe, September 5th that we're...
Right, absolutely.
Sorry.
September 6th meeting.
I think the issue is, we had the local meeting, we complied. He'd like to move forward. I don't know that there's anything that otherwise wasn't addressed, and so if there would be a reason to do it, we certainly would, but I think it would just delay what we have in front of you today.
Okay, any other questions, comments?
I'd just like to comment, I was a part of the original Quality of Life for District 4 and 5, and part of that plan was also to bring businesses and jobs to the east side as well. And after hearing this proposal and listening to what he's saying, I think that's a good spot for that particular area. Because I don't see any housing people coming wanting to build houses there right now, but it is gonna provide jobs for the east side.
Mayor?
Yes.
Yeah, Tom, I agree with my colleague here. I just, if this thing dies, it's over, right? I think maybe one more go with the neighbors and clarify again what you're trying to do, I think would be the best. I mean, I don't want to tell you what's best.
And again, if you would like us to go back and have another meeting, we can do that. I mean, I think the education may help, but what we said tonight is, maybe we can show what the landscape could be or some items like that.
And there's the issue, right? Well, several of the residents were curious what the buildings are gonna look like. I'm not the builder. I'm there to make buildable lots to sell to people so that they can come to this body and put their buildings and put their landscaping and put their proposals in place. So for me, as the developer, I don't know, other than buildable lots, what I can.
I understand what you're saying. I hear the neighbors. I think they think one big old warehouse is gonna go there with trucks, and I think we had a problem maybe with some of the neighbors talking about they weren't notified. I think one more go at it, to come back here in a little over 2 weeks and.
If I can make a suggestion, I don't want to frustrate you. I agree with Councilwoman Coleman. I think bringing jobs to the east side should be a priority of this council. We have a preacher here that offered to open up his church and have that conversation. If that offer still stands, I don't see a reason why we can't do that.
That would be fine. We'll make arrangements, and
Thank you.
if we could go to the next agenda, that'd be wonderful.
Okay.
Get a big sign everybody can see up there.
Yeah, I will try to attend that day also. Yeah, Betty, go ahead.
Yes. I too was one of the founding members of the Quality of Life Task Force and signed on to the document that some of my friends and residents read from. And I think that what they are trying to express, sir, is that the area has not been progressing since 2007. It is now 2022. We are looking for economic development. We are looking for good economic development that raises the community. We have opportunities where we are being able to now put in affordable housing. And so short profit over people, for me, is not very conducive. For an establishment like yours and Mr. Ryan, I understand what you're trying to do. But sir, I suggest if you go maybe 1.5 to 2 miles down Mills Road over to New Lenox Road right into Cherry Hill, they have what you're looking for there in that industrial corridor. We are losing so much from the area.
Excuse me, we can't hear the councilwoman, please.
We have lost
Betty, can you repeat that? Betty?
Replaced with other kind of business that's not generating anything.
Betty, you gotta repeat that last part. There was noise in the council chambers. I couldn't hear you.
I'm sorry, what I said was, we are losing everything from this side of town. We have no grocery store anymore. That's been gone. They put a drug rehab house right across the street from a liquor store. We have opportunities to try to develop and make the land more attractive where residents can have a good quality of life. Is what we're trying to do, sir. And I understand the concept of your business. Don't get me wrong. I understand you, Mr. Ryan. But right down the street at Cherry Hill Industrial Park is what you're looking for. They have that type of business there. So we want to make sure we make other districts, that's District 4 and District 5, are tractable to residents with affordable housing. And as the rooftops go up, the grocery stores see a better process of coming in, sir.
Thank
So
you.
that's my comment.
Thank you, Councilman. I think we agree, and I think if we continue this and have a meeting, we can show that what is proposed will be good for the community. The addition of what's proposed is not a subtraction of affordable housing. It is not a blight on the community, it's an investment. So if you would continue with the table, we'd love to meet with the remaining residents.
Is there a motion for that?
I'll, motion on the table, agenda item 432.
I'll second.
And motion and seconded to table Council Memo 432-22 ordinances associated with the Kingsman Industrial Park subdivision. Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Motion carries. Council Memo 432-22 is tabled. Council Memo 433-22, ordinance approving a special use permit to allow an adult use cannabis dispensing organization located at 2211 West Jefferson Street. It's recommended said ordinance be adopted.
So moved.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
You know, I have a question about this, Mayor.
Yes.
This is right in front of that Star Motel. I would like to know, and this is a cash business. So my issue with all the issues over there at the Star Motel, have we looked at how many calls for services over there without that cannabis business in front? Do we know anything?
I know that we've done studies on calls for service at the Star Motel, but I don't have that information. That wasn't, any requested or anything like that, so we didn't do that for this, but I know that we have in the past.
I just don't think this is the right place for that business. That's my opinion.
There's a motion.
There's a motion. Is there a second to approve? Seeing no second, the motion dies.
Is the petitioner my...
Yeah, step forward. I'm sorry, I didn't see you, sir.
Thank you. My name is Mitch Zavaduk with Justice Cannabis. I'm the petitioner for this special use permit. I just want to address the concern regarding security. We have found that when you add an adult use cannabis facility, you actually increase the security to the area. What we're going to be doing, the element that you're speaking of that might be around the hotel there, and in fact there was some people that were squatting in the back of the Baker Square building because it's been vacant for so long. What they don't want there, those folks don't want there, is lights, cameras, and security guards, and that's exactly what we're going to be adding. Our development calls for the placement of about 50 high definition security cameras that are going to cover every which way possible, inside and outside on the perimeter of the building and on the inside of the building. We also will have armed security guards on site at all times during open business hours, and we're going to increase the lighting that is going to be on there. So we feel that we're actually going to enhance the security, and we've actually cleaned up the area since the contract purchaser already removed some of the debris that was back there, and we're here to become a better part of the community and to add to your security.
Any questions? All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, the motion failed, so we will move on to Council Memo 434-22. Council Memo 434-22 is an ordinance declaring certain properties as public nuisances. It's recommended said ordinance be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
In motion seconded to approve, Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next, under resolutions, Council Memo 436-22, a resolution adopting an urban forest management plan. We do have a short presentation for this item.
Is there a reason why we didn't do this last night at the pre-council?
It was recommended to be put on council meeting.
Okay.
Rita Renwick, Chair of the Tree Advisory Board. There is an urban forest management plan on the agenda tonight for approval. The last one we had was in 1994. Steve Lane with Great Lakes Urban Forestry Management was part of a consulting group that used a grant to come up with this, and I'll turn it over to him.
Thank you very much for having us here to discuss this. I'll keep it relatively quick. The city was, get the next slide. There we go. City was given a grant through the U.S. Forest Service and a number of other organizations last year to conduct a tree inventory and put together an urban forestry management plan for the city's tree population. We just were able to complete that management plan in the last couple of months here and get it for final approval in front of you all. That process took about 2 years, but a couple caveats with that study and that process, which is that we were only able to, through the grant funds, look at about 10% of the trees in town. So the cathedral area was where that data was taken. Those trees are not necessarily representative of all of Joliet's trees. Joliet's trees, a lot like Joliet's population in general, is very diverse. The trees in the cathedral area are generally older. We could not extrapolate that to the full city. So some of the data that we gathered, it's a glimpse at what's going on. It's definitely not the full story. And as I really want to get to here a little bit more, some of the data that you're going to see up on the slide, I'm not going to go through, but one of the biggest things I just want to point out here is the benefits provided by the trees to the village every year. This is peer-reviewed science that looks at this. Just the 5,000 trees we were able to look at this year provide over $1 million in tangible benefits to the city every year in terms of heating and cooling, saving, pollution reduction, okay, some of the things that you're actually hearing discussed tonight when it comes to certain zoning things. A lot of other things. They also have a standing value of $14 million. Now, if we were to extrapolate the study of the whole village, you'd find that probably the trees in Joliet on the public right-of-ways bring, possibly $10 million or even more every year to the community in terms of benefits, and have a standing value probably over $100 million. And I'm not going to get into all the ins and outs of how we calculate that, but it's peer-reviewed science. It is for real. So. A lot of people look at trees, they don't see things like this. They don't see the benefits that they provide, the things that they can offset in terms of pollution reduction, in terms of carbon sequestration. There's links to reduced crime and increased tree population, and better health outcomes, right? The science is out there. We'd really like to see this study continued, and phased off over a number of years so that we can get a better picture of where trees are in Joliet, where they're not, right? So that we can start focusing on getting more trees planted in some of those areas and bringing those benefits to the whole community, regardless of socioeconomic status. So I'm actually going to skip over a couple of the slides here just in the interest of everyone's time about diversity, but the city needs more diversity of its trees, right? Diversity is a good thing. We need more of that in the street tree population. The tree population that we surveyed in the cathedral area, again, by and large, an older tree population. A lot of areas of town are younger. We want to see that data represented. And this is really what I want to get to here, which shows the total benefits provided by the tree population. It's a software suite called iTree. Again, it's the Forest Service and private partners working together. Just the 5,000 trees we were able to look at, over $900,000 in total benefit. If money is not your thing, there's a lot of other intangible benefits that you can see here in terms of the amount of carbon sequestration that comes along with. Trees provide real benefits to communities, and the more trees you have, greater those benefits are. The return on investment for a tree over its lifetime is 106.87%, and there are people that calculate that at closer to 150 sometimes. So if you came to me with an investment opportunity that returned over 100% on that, I would be interested, and I think it's in the best interest of the city to continue this program and continue to get these benefits studied and implemented for the city. So. We're working with a lot of partner organizations as part of this management plan. I'm not going to read off all the different things up here, but the idea is to build a sense of community. And trees, I think, are one of those things that, this might seem silly to some folks, but there's a sense of community when it comes to trees. They, again, transcend politics. They transcend socioeconomic things. I like to say trees are kind of like apple pie. Everyone's in favor of them, right? So if there's an investment we can make in taking care of Joliet's trees, to be able to do things like abate pollution issues, right? If we're, building industrial and we could screen that industrial with trees, that's a huge benefit that those things have. So in terms of the future of this plan, we're hoping to continue that data gathering process over the years, build more data up so that decisions can be made that impact communities in positive ways, economically, environmentally, all those different things. And engaging with the citizenry to try and really build a program that people can get around. And I guess in closing, we'd like to thank everyone that obviously participated in this project, both the residents, you folks who approved it. And I just want to editorialize for a second by saying trees are easy. A lot of things, I've heard discussed here tonight are difficult things. Trees are very easy. They've got an easy return on investment. They're a simple thing that you can do that impacts a lot of things positively. So I would implore all of you that when this comes up in future meetings discussing, the importance of urban forestry in Joliet, that you think about some of those benefits that I've talked about here today and make that investment in green infrastructure in the future. So,
Thank you.
It's recommended Council Memo 436-22, a resolution adopting an urban forest management plan be approved. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 437-22, a resolution approving an intergovernmental agreement with the Plainfield Community Consolidated School District 202 for the School Resource Officer Program. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 438-22, a resolution approving a memorandum of understanding between the United States Submarine Veterans, USS Chicago Base, for a monument at Bicentennial Park. I believe we have a few people here that would like to speak on this item. Would they like to? Okay. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved. Second.
Been
Mayor, I have a
motioned,
question.
seconded.
Yes.
I had asked, I talked to Ms. Ava about, since it has to be across the street where the memorial is, are we gonna put a plaque on the other side of the park by the fountain so people know that's over there?
In terms of, not advertising, but letting people know that on the opposite end of Five Parks, there's something to visit. Yes, so I did speak with Lori Carmine. We are going to prepare information that would be added to their existing map to indicate that the marker has and will be added.
Okay, thank you.
It's been motioned, seconded to approve. Council Memo 438-22, a resolution approving a memorandum of understanding between the United States Submarine Veterans Incorporated, USS Chicago Base, for a monument at Bicentennial Park. Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 439-22, resolution appropriating additional motor fuel tax funds for the 2021 MFT roadways resurfacing contract A. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 440-22, a resolution appropriating motor fuel tax funding for the Helen Avenue Roadway Improvement Project 2022. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 441-22, a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of an amended real estate purchase contract at 1320 Ada Street. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 442-22, a resolution authorizing approval and execution of a real estate sales agreement for the purchase of real property, 917 East Washington. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Next is City Manager's report.
Yes, I'd like to share some news. The Fire Chief, Greg Blasky, has tendered his retirement paperwork. So he's going to be retiring from the City of Joliet Police Department after 30-plus years.
Fire department.
Fire Department, sorry. Sorry about that, Chief. So we're gonna, I'm appointing Deputy Chief Carey to fill that role. We hate to see Chief Blasky go, but I'm sure that Jeff Carey has done so much work and has got such a breadth and depth of experience. He's gonna make a fine replacement for Chief Blasky. So I just want to keep you guys filled on that, so, thank you.
Good choice.
Next is new business not for final action or recommendation.
Joe. Betty?
I don't have anything, sir.
Caesar?
Yep. I think given the amount of people that we saw here present for items 430 and 432, I think if we could get our procedure and our regulations on what it takes to create those public announcements, it might be maybe time to revisit those and maybe tighten that up to ensure that the message is getting out to everybody, that it's getting out with the appropriate amount of time. So we might want to reconsider strengthening those up a little bit.
Okay, take a look at that. Thank you.
Larry? Nothing.
Terry?
I just, real quick, I just received a phone call today. I guess everybody's aware that I-80 the bridge is gonna be moved and a lot of the residents in that area. So I guess IDOT is kind of gearing up. And I know they set aside some money that's gonna give to the city to, I think it's like 3.5 million, I heard. But I was just wondering if staff is kind of, we don't have to wait until, we get the money to talk with the residents, because they're kind of getting anxious. And also, IDOT had hired a consultant early on, and now the consultant not there, so the people kind of feel like they're getting ready to get kind of run over. So they sent, they sent the governor some letters, and I'm almost finished, and they haven't heard nothing back from the governor's office. So I was just wondering if, because I know he was here not too long ago. I was working, I wasn't able to see him. I didn't know this at that time anyway, but if we could kind of find out, the letters was kind of stating they want to kind of get the consultant back, because IDOT said, no, we're going to just use our people, as well as to kind of see what's going on,
Right, working with IDOT, as you can tell from the bridge over Jefferson and Cass Street, is always difficult and trying at best. We will certainly reach out. I'll talk to our lobbyists out there to find out what's going on, see if we can get a clearer picture, or maybe some sort of time frame as well, and maybe some diagrams or something, so we can get that at least posted on the website or something. So we'll hit up IDOT and see where we're at. So, okay. Absolutely.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Pat?
No.
Jim? Jerry? Couple things. Jim, I know you mentioned this last night, but I'm gonna repeat it again. I got a call from our state's rep, Larry Walsh, about the $3 million grant be given to Joliet to dedicate to the downtown City Center Plaza project. So again, I want to thank Governor Pritzker and Larry Walsh for their efforts, and that's great news for Joliet. Number two, the Rialto liaison position. There was an Inspector General report that was completed a few weeks ago. One of the recommendations was for Councilman Mudry not to be the liaison from the Rialto anymore. So subsequent to that, I am removing him. I've opened it up to the council, but no one has stepped forward. So I will fill that position for the near future as a Rialto liaison. I know they have a meeting in a couple of weeks, and I plan on being in attendance at that. And that's all I have for tonight.
Next is public comments. Is there anyone that would like to speak under public comments this evening?
Buenas noches.
Good evening, Council and Mayor. I'm going to be translating for him. So you all know me, Mari. This is Rodolfo Aguirre. Arriaga, I'm sorry. 610. 610. ¿Cómo se llama? Jerome. 610 Jerome. Use him again for, having to come up and have a translator.
Dígale que el año pasado le quitaron la vida a mi hijo en la casa.
He's here to let you know that last year his son was murdered behind his home.
Apenas tenía 17 años.
He was only 17 years old.
Dígale que pienso que cualquiera que sea padre.
He believes anybody that's a parent, father.
No sé si me entiende, no sé el dolor que
He
llevo para
doesn't
siempre.
know if you all understand the pain that he carries.
Dígale que la policía dijo que iba a ir seguido.
The police said that they would be in communication with him and keep in contact with him.
Estuvo por una semana o dos, de allí se olvidaron.
It happened about a week or two, and then after that it was forgotten.
En el que lo mató.
The person that murdered his son,
Es el de ella.
he is now being held at Will County Jail.
Yo no estoy pidiendo gran cosa, simplemente que no salga tan fácil para que no le haga daño a otra persona.
He's not asking for a lot, he's just asking for justice, for him to be held so that he cannot harm and take away someone else's son as he did his child.
Mi familia está sufriendo
His
mucho.
family is suffering a lot.
Porque nunca va a ser igual.
It's never gonna be the same in his home.
Quisiera decir tantas cosas.
He would love to express so many things.
Pero es difícil, o sea,
It's very hard to,
porque cada día que llego a mi casa,
because every day he comes home,
siento la ausencia de mi hijo.
he feels the absences of his son.
Pienso que cualquiera que perdiera a su hijo,
He believes anybody who would lose a child,
pienso que no sería algo fácil,
it wouldn't be something easy to cope with,
porque para mí es algo tan
because
doloroso.
for him it's so painful.
Acá por ahí se ordenar algo, bueno,
Diga.
dígame,
A few nights,
algo, o sea, voy en la noche al cementerio
he goes to the cemetery
a las 10, 11 de la
at
noche,
10, 11 at night,
porque no puedo, o sea,
because he can't even,
como asimilarlo.
he can't even believe it, like accept it,
Voy.
living with him, without him.
Voy y platico con él en
He
la
goes and
noche.
talks to him at night.
Pues estamos pasando por un momento mucho muy
It's very,
difícil.
very hard what they are going through,
Llevamos un año,
and this
3
is going
meses,
on a year and 3 months,
yendo a cortes cada mes,
going to court every month,
a veces 2 veces por mes.
sometimes 2 times a month.
And sé que a lo mejor no lo que muchas de las veces no se puede hacer gran cosa,
And he knows that maybe you guys can't do a big thing, for this to intervene,
pero los que fueron a matar a mi hijo
but the ones that went and harmed his son and murdered him,
no era uno solo,
it
eran
wasn't
varios.
just one, it was a few of them.
El que mató a mi hijo lo encerraron,
One of them is apprehended, the actual murderer,
los demás los dejaron libres.
but the other ones are all free, roaming our city.
A los 15 o 22 días mataron 2 personas de los que dejaron libres.
After this incident, 2 of the ones that were let free killed another 2 people.
Entonces, otras 2 familias están sufriendo
Now
por
2
verlos
more
dejados.
families are suffering because they were at large in their community.
Si los hubieran encerrado en ese momento,
Had
no
they been
estuviera sufriendo
captured
las
at that
otras
moment and held accountable, this wouldn't happen to the other families with the Halloween shooting.
familias. Así nomás
incident.
estaría sufriendo mi familia,
Or
no las de
suffering the
otros.
way his family is suffering.
Y espero que,
And he just
que
hopes
escuche mis
that
palabras,
you
o sea,
hear his words
que mi corazón
and
sea,
feel his heart.
quisiera, o sea, como vuelvo a decirles tantas cosas, pero
He would really like to say a lot more, but he just,
y lo que él dura en la cárcel no paga con nada lo que le ha hecho a mi hijo.
What he may face in prison is gonna do nothing to replace his loss with his son. Yes, por favor, el tiempo. ¿Quieres decir otra cosa? Okay, I let him know the timer's up, and he said that's fine, that's what he wanted to share, and ask for your support.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Okay, gracias. I do want to speak on something that affects me. And so I'm Mari Perez, Comstock Street. And I've been here before, and Rodolfo's son is not the only, victim. There's so many more victims out here in Joliet, and there's so many more stories that haven't been said. And I've said, and I've been coming here for the last 4 years advocating against the violence. And it's even to the point where my son lost his 13-year-old friend, February 21st of 2019. Javier Cayetano from Reedswood, 13 years old, gunned down. Till today, they apprehended the person with the weapon, who confessed the weapon was theirs, but they have not been charged till today. I've been told it's a state's attorney issue. State's attorney blames JPD detectives. And at this point, somebody needs to intervene, because what we have is real criminals out there that are shooting at homes, vandalizing properties, and bullying other kids. And I'm gonna share that even my own son, who's a minor, he's now 17, he just turned 17, was recently caught in possession with a gun. And it is embarrassing, but I'm here to share it because I'm not one of those parents that say it won't be mine. But it hurts to know that my son feels he needs to have a gun to protect our family, to protect our home, and protect his life out there. He shouldn't have to have friends giving him an illegal weapon to feel like that's what he needs to protect himself or our home, because the police haven't solved these shootings. And I am thankful for the new chief that we have, because he has met with me and he has shown that he cares, but there's still a lot of work to be done within the detectives unit at JPD. I don't feel there's a lot of compassion. Meeting this man and him sharing his story, my heart breaks for him. And there are so many other people out here that are going through the same thing, and they need a voice and they need resources. And we need to do better. Guerrero, you're new in your role. We need you to, represent our minorities. We need more. I talked to you at our St. Pat's Association, Mr. Clement, and I had mentioned, hey, you did something with the ATVs. Why not do something to address the gun violence, Maybe finding the families of these young kids in possession. I'll tell you one thing, when my son got caught, it was embarrassing, but I had to have a conversation with my child and say, I don't need him to let his heart get hardened or him to do something horrible to feel like he's getting justice. That's not what this is about. And it takes those conversations. And we need the support. And you know what, if I was to get fined $500, I'd have to pay that, because that is my child. And maybe if we start finding these parents of kids that are out there doing this, that's gonna stop it. It's gonna send a message, because they're not gonna wanna be paying this kind of money, these fines. But I don't want my son to be influenced by friends that he's meeting in school or on the streets that are putting a weapon in his hand. And I know there's more families out there. I do want justice, though. My house has been shot 12 times in the last 4 years. Nobody has ever been arrested. It is a miracle, and only by the grace of God, that nobody of my family has been harmed by this. I am very thankful, because especially hearing the story of Rodolfo, and I just really pray that, they form, if you can pull the resources of other task force to step in to create an ordinance for ATVs, I think you could do the same to address the gun violence that's out of control. Just this week, 3 teenagers were arrested, again in possession of guns. These gangbangers are using children as pawns, and they're manipulating these young kids and putting guns in their hands. I believe in my Fourth Amendment, my Second Amendment, but it's not the people that have a FOID card like myself that are breaking the law. It's these gang members that are putting these weapons in the hands of children, and there just needs to be a stronger ordinance for this. That's what I ask. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'll be short. I'd just like to piggyback on the gentleman's suggestion as far as getting the information out to the public. Now, I know you said that you'll be working with IDOT in regards to the new construction for I-80, okay? Don't just concentrate on what's going on Chicago Street. This addition is going to affect people up and down Richard Street, and we have 2 schools there. Our young people are going to be affected on this. The people over there need to know what is going on and what is going to happen with their children and their surroundings that they're going to be going to. So creating additional information, websites or whatever is best. And if the council and IDOC or whoever can even work with the school system to get that information out to the parents, it will be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's exactly I am. I'm back again. And I'm back to say thank you. Thank you to Betty Gavin. Thank you to Cesar Guerrero for suggesting that we give the people an opportunity to hear their voices being heard on this issue with these warehouses coming into their community. I appreciate that. It means a lot to the people. Terry, we did go out, boots on the ground, to let people know what was happening because people did not know. All we're asking for is equality and justice for people that's in our areas, people that are underserved, people that don't have the things that so many other people have. So please, let's not take away from people that don't already have. We all deserve to have a better quality of life. So I just want to say thank you to all of you, and thank you for giving us the opportunity for our people to be heard so that they can feel like that they are valued. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, my name is Doug Casper. I live here in Joliet, and I've addressed the council a few times about the nonviolent city project that I got going on here in Joliet. And I was not prepared to speak today, but this young man who lost his son kind of moved me a little bit, and the other people who speak about the violence that we're in. We're in a culture of violence, and this Nonviolent City Project is trying to do something about it. We do have a steering committee put together. We meet regularly once a month, and we need people to get involved. And we need some of you council members maybe to get involved with this problem of violence. There's just too much of it all over. And it's not just in Joliet, of course, it's worldwide between all kinds of violence. And I like to quote Dr. Martin Luther King that said, violence begets violence. Our common narrative to violence is to deal with it violently. And we know it doesn't work. So there's a nonviolent power. There really is. I think I would have to believe that violence begets violence, nonviolence will beget nonviolence. And we can create a culture of nonviolence. I'm sure this can happen. Not easy. But I just wanted to mention that, and again, I mean, if some of the council members can get really involved with a nonviolent project, I think this can work.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else? Next is mayor and council comments.
Joe?
Jim, I'm pretty sure I mentioned earlier, the ongoing infantry drive pond, I know it's on our radar.
Yeah, I know. It just bloomed back up again. We're trying to get something to get it, some quotes or something to get it dug out and maybe give a longer term. I talked to staff about it, getting somebody out there maybe to dig it all up and make it deeper or something. But every time the sun comes out, I mean, it causes the algae to bloom. And it's difficult to control that, so we're working on it.
And then I want to thank Chief Evans. I had some complaints on Jackson Street bridge heading westbound in the, early evening. And I know that you're working on that issue there, help the traffic flow a little better. So, thank you.
Betty?
Yes, just to kind of thank Neighborhood Services. I know you mentioned the pond, Joe, and Park Hill Estates. They still have that issue with our pond as well. And so they're having to take measures to try to get that done. So I just want the residents to know that Neighborhood Services is aware. They have reached out to the contractor. And we're looking to put probably a new aerator in there, but I just wanted them to know that. And then to Chief Evans, thank you, sir, for your work as well. I know you've only been here a short period of time, but I think you got a good grasp on what's going on, sir. And so we welcome you aboard. And we enjoyed having you up at the center, so thanks again.
Caesar? Larry?
I just heard about it today. I'll have to give him a call. Congratulations to Chief Lasky on his retirement. He served the city proudly, served the city very well for how many years?
It was over 30, I want to say.
Over 30.
31, 32, something like that. Yeah.
And in the smaller corner of the city, I will congratulate my mother-in-law, Nancy Pullman, who's 87 years old. She is retiring, put in her paperwork this year, from being a crossing guard, protecting our kids, for almost 30 years. She did it. She's 87. She was crossing right up until today, till this year. So congratulations to her. And she loves the police department. She always has, and the people that, oversee it. And then my last thing is personal. Happy anniversary to my wife. 25 years together. I love you very much. Our silver anniversary, and thanks for putting up with me.
Terry?
No, nothing.
Pat?
No.
Jan?
Thank you, Chief. I sent you an email.
I just have one personal thing. It's my daughter's 29th birthday, so happy birthday to Taylor. That's it.
Happy birthday to your daughter. Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
Chief Lasky, thank you for your service. I hope you enjoy your retirement. Chief Evans, I'll just echo in on that. This is unplanned, but thank you. You've been a breath of fresh air. I think you've done a great job across the street. And I get a lot of compliments from various groups all over the city. I was at a City Center Partnership meeting last week, and they were complimenting you and your presence downtown. And I hear that all over the city. So good job, and thank you. This last week, there was another event at Lion Electric. Governor Pritzker was present with Senator Durbin and Representative Foster. I was there with Councilwoman Quillman. Lion Electric, of course, is the electric bus company, manufacturing plant that is opened in Joliet. It's one of the first in the nation. And with the level of elected officials that were there, the governor, U.S. Senator, and U.S. Representative, I think it shows how high in esteem this project is being held and what a credit it is to our city. I want to compliment Councilwoman Quillman. I said this at a neighborhood meeting. I was on stage. I spoke. The governor spoke. Senator Durbin spoke. At the end of the presentation, Councilwoman Quillman really got right up in the governor's face about the bridges downtown. So I know you've had conversations before with him. I have personally too. But thank you for keeping that topic alive. I don't think the governor expected that, but
Squeaky wheel.
right. So, on August 4th, there was a new Educator breakfast at the College of St. Francis. This is an annual event put on by the college and the Chamber of Commerce, welcoming all new teachers to the Joliet schools. It's a great annual event. It was a great breakfast. Thank you. Good luck to all our new educators. August 6th, NHRA was back at the track. It's the first time there's been racing in 3 years. It was a smaller event, but the hopes is that this is going to lead to the bigger NHRA event that we've had in the past coming back next year. So congratulations to the staff there. On the same day, August 6th, Kids Fest was downtown Joliet. Another great festival happening over the weekends. It seems like almost every weekend we're having one. It's a great turnout. It was a very hot day that day, but thank you to all the volunteers. It went really well. Last week, August 11th, El Chameleon, if I'm saying that right, Caesar, restaurant at 103 North Ottawa had their ribbon cutting. Congratulations to them. Thank you for your investment in downtown Joliet, and good luck. And then finally, last Sunday, August 14th, was the 815 event. It's been in Knoll Park in years past. This year, Betty, it was up in Forest Park. I was able to attend the event early on. I know there were Joliet firefighters present and later some Joliet police. were present. I saw Will County Sheriff's there and a number of other community organizations, including Will County and some of the different services. So it was a great job. Thank you to the people who put on that event, and thank you to everyone who attended and volunteered to go out there. I think we have an executive session tonight. Is that correct?
Your motion to go into closed session to discuss personnel, collective bargaining, land acquisition, or conveyance pending or threat litigation, after which the meeting will be adjourned.
So moved.
Second.
In motion and seconded to approve, Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hogg.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudgeon.
Aye.
Motion carried.